Hello, viewers, and welcome. My name is Dr. Cosmas Chikwawawa. Today we are looking at the subject understanding conceptual frameworks in research. Let's firstly look at what a conceptual framework is. A conceptual framework draws upon existing theories, models, or established bodies of knowledge to provide a structure for understanding a research problem. It defines the scope of research, identifying relevant variables, establishing research questions, and guiding the selection of appropriate methodologies and data analysis techniques. Conceptual frameworks can be in written form, visual form, or diagrammatic form. The sources of the elements of a conceptual framework are literature, theory, and experience or prior knowledge of the researcher. The conceptual framework is the researcher's explanation of how the research problem can be explored. It presents an integrated way of looking at the problem under study. A conceptual framework makes it easier for the researcher to specify and define the concepts within the problem of the study. It shows the key variables or constructs to be studied and the presumed relationships between or among the variables. Now let's look at the importance of a conceptual framework in research. A conceptual framework offers substantial benefits to the researcher. It assists the researcher in identifying and constructing his or her own worldview regarding the phenomenon to be investigated. It clarifies the context of the research, helping the researcher to assess his or her own understanding of the research problem and to demonstrate that understanding. It illustrates the expected cause and effect relationships between the variables under study. It assists in refining the study's objectives further and in choosing the appropriate methods to address the objectives. Now let's look at how to construct a conceptual framework in the context of research. A conceptual framework is always constructed by the researcher. It reflects the researcher's conceptualization of the entire research and the research process itself. Usually, diagrams are created to clearly define the constructs or the variables of the research, showing their anticipated relationship, usually through the use of arrows. Researchers are at liberty to adopt existing frameworks, but have to modify them to suit the nature and context of their own research. After a researcher has skillfully constructed a diagrammatic representation of the main variables of the study, he or she has to explain the anticipated relationships among them and how those relationships help in answering the research question. Thank you very much for being part of this presentation. I look forward to engaging you once again on another subject relative to research. Please do like, share, and subscribe.